Needlem0use, the purple bastard. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I am today. But how did I find out about them? Well, it was all because of this.
Not you again. I'm gonna teach you how to fly. Big Bang. That was you know. You're not something.
I'm not.
Seeing this animation truly changed me for the better, so that's how I found out about the purple rat. You probably already know about them because of FNF or something else, but you just can't make me hate this little goofy bucko, so let's get into them. I'm not gonna get too deep into the story of Needlem0use because I could save that for another day, but I'll still get into it anyways. Basically, it's about a girl that got killed by her friends and she wants to get revenge. This all started at a party, and so their friends, after killing her, decide, alright, let's go bury her somewhere and forget about her. So she's rightfully mad about it. So Sarah is in a black void for 60 years straight until eventually Sega gets built on top of her. It was like near a lake. So then she ends up in this weird ROM of like Sonic games, consisting of Sonic 1, Sonic CD, 2, and 3. CD never shows up in the series, but that's kind of what I remember. I think the creator stated this somewhere, but I could be wrong about it. So the first season is just her trying to get back at her friends, and the second season continues this on with 2 new characters. There is definitely a lot more to this, but I want to save this for something someday. But I like it. It's an interesting take on your usual blood-eyed killer, and there's actually some reason to it. I also just kind of have a thing for these type of EXEs, them being your average person but then eventually just losing everything to them, and becoming these overpowered gods that treat themselves as gods. Actually, I don't know if Sarah flat out considers herself to be one, I don't really remember too much, but I really think this is a very fascinating concept. The series has some pretty good imagery in it. Like, I like this one. This one messes with me. This one also does. JoJo just has a pretty good art style, and they've made like a lot of good artwork out there. But I would say I've had some pretty good memories with this series, and it kinda terrified me. I'm not gonna lie. There are some moments that I like in this series, like the one where Luffy and Sarah in a car. That's just really wholesome. I love that scene. Though that doesn't mean this series doesn't have a few problems with it. A lot of people just started hating this series, and even like Sarah themselves. And I guess it's kind of justified, I'm not gonna lie. But I gotta say, the arguments of the character are just so weird, I just don't want to get into them. A few problems I guess I could get into are like, Atem, they're not a bad idea, but they kind of just come out of nowhere. Like, I don't hate the idea of them, but they could have been executed better. Michael and Martin fucking die. They don't really do much in the series. You could just make the series about Sarah and Luffy instead, and it wouldn't change all that much. But with all of that aside, I still like the series at the end of the day. This was kind of a long segment, but I just wanted to talk about the series a bit, so now we can finally move on. There are a lot of pieces of info for this series out there, and I'm not going to get into all of it, only the things I find interesting. So to start off, Sarah was an extreme alcoholic, and didn't give a crap about these 2 fellas. She cared more about Luffy. So she didn't really get along with these fellas, but I never knew she was drunk until like literally today. So originally, and I find this to be a really cool idea, Needlem0use was going to be like possessing a non-willing Sonic, so he was like full on sensing of what was going on. I actually wouldn't mind seeing somebody explore this idea. It doesn't even have to be horror theme, I just think it's pretty cool. I think a lot of people probably already know about this, but Needlem0use was going to have a crossover with Hood Rats, but that never happened. Until recently. Now her character lives on through that, same for Luffy and Lily, and now she looks like this and she's called Sarah Prime. That's kind of a funny name, I don't know why she's called that. So when Needlem0use was getting rebooted, one of the ideas was to have Sarah work at Sega, but we don't really know a lot about this. We will find this out when Speed Duo comes to an end. I'm pretty interested to see how that would have gone. Damn, there's not much else for me to really get into. Sarah could give you nightmares. That's awesome. Something even more awesome is that she would have had a super form, but for some reason her Needlem0use form looks like she just consumed the fire flower. This is some pretty nice artwork. I don't think JoJo made this. Same for this one where she's climbing out of the mouth of Needlem0use like it's a mascot costume. So Sarah has an older design. It looks like this. She might have been called Susie because of a misspelling in an episode of Needlem0use. Funny thing about that That is the name of a Deltarune character. And in that same game, there's also a group called the Fun Gang, I think. That's in Needlem0use. That's pretty dope. I think that's all I want to get into. You know about Roundabout, pretty good song, and that Lost Media FNF song, but the Q&A, why don't more EXE creators do these? It's pretty good. Okay, I know she's not really an EXE, but yeah, best Q&A ever. One of the best EXE Q&As of all time. I love how the Q&A gives you the main gist of Sarah's character, and just the interactions with Lufa are pretty funny. She's into stuff like cryptocurrency. I think that's said in the Q&A. Like, I thought you were smarter, Sarah. Like, what's wrong with you? She just has a laptop for some reason that I 100% bet she stole from somewhere because you just wouldn't fucking have that in a black void. I just love how she treats herself as the highest and mightiest. Yeah, don't focus on those other EXCs. I'm the only one. Screw you. Here's my favorite part of that Q&A.
Yeah, I got a favorite song. Staying Alive.
You little shit.
Thanks for the
She's Asian, apparently. Do you guys even know about that, or am I the only one? I do not care what you guys have to say about this design. It's a good design. It's great. The whole purple aesthetic with white and orange. Yeah, I like this design. Same for the human form, which I usually be like afraid of this image, but it just kind of looks like she's offering you some weed. If Sarah actually offered me some weed, I'm instantly smoking that. But overall, I like them, and you can't stop me. If I didn't find that goofy sprite animation of Fleetway Sonic beating the crap out of Needlem0use, I wouldn't be where I am today. I love this purple bastard. They're great. You just can't make me hate this purple rat, so I will cherish them for a very, very long time, and I will see you guys next time, and bye.